In today's show, we're going to do a Microsoft Flow tutorial. We're going to walk through an if statement and then the conditions that go around with that, and then we're going to add an approval. We're just going to have a little bit of fun with Flow so you can get some more ideas of kind of the inner workings. So, should be fun, should be fast. But first, here's our intro. Hi, my name is Shane Young with Power Apps 911. Those guys. In today's show, we're going to do a Microsoft Flow tutorial. And what we're going to do in that Flow tutorial is we're going to grab some content off the internet, and then based on the title of that content, we're either going to go down one or two paths, and then based on which one of those paths we go down, we're going to add an approval to it, so we only have to approve certain content. So it's something a lot of fun. It's going to be one of those videos where we're just going to try and show off some of the different capabilities, some of the branching logic, and ways you can break a branch up and then bring them back together at the end so you can get a little more familiar with Flow, right? The Flow we're going to build, you probably wouldn't build it yourself, but we're going to show you the mechanics of how it all works so you can make yourself an awesome Flow. All right, that's enough rambling. Let's just jump over to my desktop and take a look. Okay, so over here on my desktop, I've opened up a browser to flow.microsoft.com. And I've already signed in, right? So we went through that process. We covered that in a previous video. We're good here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go straight over to My Flows. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big fan of the YouTubes. So we're going to use YouTube here in order to go in and kind of demo what we want to do. So once again, we could create from template, but I find it's harder for me to teach you from templates. So we're going to create this from blank. All right. And then we're going to say we want to create from blank. And don't take this as a slide as the templates. I definitely think you should use the templates where they make sense for you. It's just easier for me to walk you through stuff if we build all the pieces. And so the first thing we need is we're going to do a trigger. And so I don't know about you guys, but YouTube is near and dear to my heart. So we're going to look at the YouTube triggers today. All right, so you can see down here I have when a new video matches a search, when a new video is uploaded by a channel, or when I upload a video. So what we're going to do is we're going to say when a video is uploaded by a channel. So we'll click on that. And then it says now pick your channel ID. So the way that you can do that, so you go over here to YouTube, and we'll just paste in the URL for my channel, right? Okay, and so when you're on the channel, what you're going to see is, you're like, oh, I have Shane Young Cloud. So that'll work for my particular channel because I have a full name, but a lot of channels don't. They'll have different codes. So for example, if you go over here to About, you can see that here's a channel, or here's the actual channel ID for mine. So you could grab this out of the URL, and then we're going to go back over here to Flow, and we're going to say, all right, channel ID, we're going to enter a custom value, and we're going to paste that in. Okay, so that'll get us to the channel, more importantly, to my channel. But so now we have when a video is uploaded by a channel, then boom, what do we want to do? And actually, just to make this easier, because I don't want to upload a bunch of bogus videos to my channel, what we're going to do is we're going to use one of my test channels. So, all right. Anyway, you don't care. We're using a YouTube channel. That's getting us in here. All right. So now we got a channel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a step. So I'm going to say add a new step. And this time we're going to add a condition. And so a condition is just a basic if or then. And so for choose a value, we click in there. Notice we get the dynamic content, right? It says, hey, from that trigger, these are the things I know. And so what we're going to do is we'll say, all right, well, look at the video title. And what we want to do is we want to say video title where you contain or contains, and we'll look for the word flow. Okay? So video gets uploaded to the channel. If the video title contains flow, what do we want to do? Well, we're going to say we're at an action, and we're going to say, all right, we're going to go to SharePoint. And we want to create an item. So then what SharePoint site do I want? So I'm going to hit this drop down. Hopefully my site shows up. It does. If your site doesn't show up, click on enter custom value. So there's my site. And then you know you're successful when you hit the drop down and there's all the list. And so I already created a list called training videos. So we'll click on that. And so then now it's going to show me the metadata columns from that list. So the list has a required column called title. Well, I'm going to grab the YouTube video title. Perfect. I have a column called video description. It's almost like I planned this ahead of time. There's a video description and then a link to the video. Now here's an interesting problem, right? It's like, hey, wait a minute. I don't know how to provide you with dynamic content that relates, right? Dynamic content tries to understand what it is, what type of column you have and what to show you. Well, in this case, it's like I can't match anything up. So what do you want to do? Well, what we can do is we can say, you know what? I just want to see more. So this is going to show me all the dynamic content. Flow doesn't think that it's useful, but it's going to go ahead and show it to me. And it turns out that this video web link down here is absolutely what I needed. So no big deal. Flow didn't understand my hyperlink column. And it's probably because SharePoint hyperlink columns have some different properties about them that makes them confusing to Flow, Power Apps, that type of stuff. But either way, this will work just fine. You could do the show advanced options. There's, just the one about the views, right? But remember, one of my tricks is I always click show advanced options just to see what's there. So I can put it in the old memory bank and remember, maybe I need to know later. But there you go. So when a video is uploaded by a channel, and so that channel we chose, if the video title contains the word flow, then go write it to my training videos list. If it doesn't, right now we're just not going to do anything. And that's okay. You can have conditions that don't do anything, right? This would just mean if it gets over here, the flow's done, nothing happened, life moved on. Simple enough. So let's give this a quick name, and we'll call this YouTube. Oh, let's click in there where I can actually type. We'll call this YouTube to SharePoint list, like so. All right, that looks good to me. We're going to hit save. And so then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to the other browser. So I'll hit pause on you guys for just a second. I'm going to go upload a video with the word flow into that channel and see what happens. Okay, so I got the video uploaded over there. Now keep in mind with YouTube, this particular check happens every 900 seconds, which is 15 minutes for those of you that aren't math inclined. So this might take a couple minutes. I'm not going to ramble the whole time though, but I want to talk to you a couple things. So we're going to say go back to our previous page, say okay. So here you can see the flow, right? We've got our my flow here. We can make sure it's active, so we're good. And then honestly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit pause. I'm just going to hit refresh here about once every minute until I see the run history trigger. So you will get to see me in just a second. Okay, so then after sitting here diligently hitting refresh for you guys, you can see it succeeded. Woohoo! So we switch over here to there, and we click refresh in SharePoint. Right, we have a video about flow. This is the text, and then there's the link. And if we clicked on the link, it would then take us over to that video directly in Flow. That's pretty awesome, right? Very straightforward, not very complicated. But if we go back over here and click on Editor Flow, all we did was looked at the video title contains the word flow. But so now let's take this and go a step further. So what if the video title doesn't say flow, right? Because we know that I upload videos on Flow and Power Apps and SharePoint and PowerShell. And so, you don't want to just take all my videos and stick them in your training list. You only want to grab certain ones. So we're going to take all the flow ones by default. If it doesn't have flow, let's go give you an approval process where you can decide whether or not you want to add that video to your training library. So if no, add an action. And for our action, what we're going to do is we're going to search for approval. And so there's an approvals connector here. And we're going to say we want to start an approval. So approvals is probably one of the things that you do a whole video on because there's a whole bunch of coolness. They're probably one of the most popular features. But today we're just going to power through and make it work the way we want. So we're going to say, what's our approval type? Well, we're going to do anyone from the assigned list. Right? So we only want to have one approver. If we send it off to 5 people, as long as one of them says approved, we move on. Or you could have everybody approves, and in that case, all 5 people would have to approve if we send it to 5. All right, so what's the title going to be? We're going to say, do you want to approve? And then we will say, oh, let's kind of scroll over here so we can see this. We'll say, do you want to approve video title? Right? So we're using the dynamic content mixed with text to make a nice experience. We're just going to assign this to me. I could definitely see, you having maybe a dynamic more process here, but I'm just going to assign this to myself today. So what are the details? Well, the thing that I like to do in these type of situations is make it real easy for us to figure it out, right? Because we're learning. So we're just going to type in here. This is what I type for details. Just like that. The item link, well, we're going to go over here. We will use our dynamic content for that. We'll say grab video web link. Boom. And what item link description? We will grab the video description. All right, so that way when we look at the email here in just a second, we'll be able to kind of piece it back together and figure out what we did. So there you go. We're going to start an approval. Now, once you start an approval, you're going to get something back. So we need to add an action, but not an action this time. We're going to add a condition. So we're going to add another if. We're going to keep scrolling to the right. This is why I have this big 34-inch widescreen monitor. And so we're going to say, all right, if the response, right, so this is dynamic content coming from the approval, so the response. And then what we're going to do is, oh, I pressed the wrong button. Scroll back over here. A response is equal to approve, right? So that's what we're going to do. Because what's going to happen in the email is there's going to be an approve button or a reject button. And so if they click on approve, what do we want to do? Then we're going to add an action. And we're going to add another SharePoint. We're going to create an item. We're going to choose our SharePoint site again. All right, we just did all this, so I'm not going to go slow here. We're going to choose our training video. And then what we're going to do. Now notice right here, you see the approver stuff. You just have to scroll down and you'll get back to your YouTube pieces. We'll scroll here. So we're going to say, all right, video titles, video title, video description. Scroll to the bottom again is video description. And link to video, same problem, no problem. We're just going to say, show me more, video web link. Boom. Now, what's interesting, right, is this create item and this create item are exactly the same. So after we solve this, we're going to figure out how to make that so we don't have to have duplicate. But right now, we're going to have duplicate. No big deal. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So if they approve it, we're going to create an item. If they don't approve it, we're just done. We're not going to, we're just done. We're just not going to log it. We're not going to do anything because we don't care. Okay? So that looks good to me. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to say save. All right, that looks good. We'll go back to here. We'll ignore this message. Okay, so then now I'm going to hit pause again. I'm going to go over and upload another video where I'm not going to put flow in the title. All right, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so perfect. So I see it's running. So that's interesting this time though, right? Because instead of just flying, right, we know they have that approval step that got triggered. And so it's waiting on me to approve it. So what I can do is I can click on approvals here. And then you can see that I have, do you want to approve the videos? So this is one I did earlier. So it's this video. Now keep in mind also that if you have the app, right, this is the stuff I need to cover better for you later. But my Flow app actually buzzed and said, hey, you have an approval to do, so I could do the approval from my app. I also got a separate email. And so in the email, I could go over there and click the button. But I thought since we were in Flow, we would show it here. So you want to approve the Power Apps are cool. Why not? So we'll say approve. Here I get the chance to look at the details, right? So this is what I typed for details, the link, the description that we did. Under advanced, we have, we have the ability to reassign it. We're not going to do that. And then we can approve or reject. We can also leave comments. So we're just going to say approve. Oh, there it is. Reminding me, do you want to do comments and confirm? Okay. So then now that we've approved that, if we go back over to my flows, and click on YouTube to SharePoint list, we can see that it succeeded. And if we go over here, Power Apps are cool. And why? Because I said so. All right, so there you go. So that was a multi-step process. So we'll set it the flow, let's look at it again. The video got uploaded to the channel. The video title did not contain flow. So we started an approval. In the approval, we had another if. We'll go over here, we'll see. And then they responded approve was yes, so we went and created the item. It didn't, we just didn't do anything. All right, so that's two-thirds of what we wanted, right? So we kind of went through the ifs and the approvals. So now let's talk about the fact that we have create item twice, right? So create item here, create item here. They do the same exact thing. I hate having to do the same exact thing. So what we can do, let's go down here at the bottom. So what we're going to do, if we click on no, and yes, okay, this is just letting me collapse things, right? So we're going to say I want to stay in the if, and there's a yes and a no. But if we do a new step now, this is adding a step that comes after the condition portion, right? We'll make that smaller. So new step, we're going to add an action. And so then here we're going to do our SharePoint action again, right? So create an item. What's our list? It's this list. What's our list name? That one. What's our title? Well, our title is going to be, scroll all the way to the bottom, right? There's a lot of stuff to scroll through. We have a lot of dynamic content, but video title, video description. It's going to be our video description. And then once again, link to video. It's like, I don't really know what you mean. Well, that's all right. We're going to go down here. We're going to say see more. And we're going to say video web link. Okay. So just like we wanted. But so now we go back up here. We expand our conditions. We expand the yes branch. We say, all right, we're going to get rid of you because I don't need you anymore. So we'll say, okay. We're going to go to no. We're going to go expand its condition. Kind of scroll sideways here, and we're going to get rid of this one also. So delete. Okay, now the problem here though is right now is if they go no, it would still go down here to create item 3. We don't want that. So we're going to do a bonus, a little more complex of a topic, but real quick we're going to just go over here, add an action, type in the word terminate. So there is a control called terminate. And so what this is going to do, and we're going to say status is canceled. This is going to stop our flow. So our flow is going to terminate when it hits this with a status of canceled. So then now the idea is that if it comes through here, right? So condition 2, if they say approve, yes, branch, just lets it go, flows right through, boom, creates our item. The condition 2 here, if they say no, terminate, flows over, and it will it will end with a status of canceled, which is what we want. So that tells us they didn't approve it. Okay. Now the other neat thing, so we're going to hit save. All right. So now it's saved. So the other neat thing is we're going to take advantage of test. So click on test over here. All right. So we're going to say, I want to use data from a previous run. So we know what data was in these 2 runs. So instead of me going and uploading another video to YouTube, waiting for 5 to 10 minutes for it to actually get processed, and then coming back over here, I'm going to say, hey, I just want to use that data from last time. So we can just kind of keep going through this. So we're going to say succeeded. So we're going to take this one. This is the one that has Power Apps in the title instead of Flow. So we're going to say save and test. So then now it takes us over here. You might have heard the buzz of my phone, right? It's like, hey, condition was... You can see in here the condition is still running, but because the title has Power Apps instead of Flow, it was a no. And so it started the approval. And so right now it's waiting on me to approve. And so just to be different this time, I'll grab the email. And so here you can see the email I got, right? Hey, do you want to approve? Power Apps are cool. This is what I typed for details, link, why, Shane said so, right? That was the video description. And so if we click approve, so then it dumps me over here into a browser window. It popped up, right? It's that same approval experience. And so we're just going to scroll to the bottom and say, we approve. Boom, the request has been approved. We'll get rid of that browser. We'll get rid of our email. And so you can see our flow ran successfully. Notice over here in the test, I can see the outputs, right? So we can see what happened. The approver was Shane. His email was this. And what did Shane respond with? Approve. Good job, Shane. And then the conditions, it's like, well, we evaluated to true. And the true, there was nothing. So then we got out of here and we created the item. And if we go over here, there should be another entry. Yes. Okay. Last thing to test, and then we'll be done, I promise. Go back over here. Let's go back to our flow. Yes, we're fine. Leave me out of there. Edit the flow. And so now let's test what happens if, so we'll just grab that same one again. We'll say save and test. Let's test what happens if I reject. Let's make sure that the item doesn't get created. So there is all of that. We'll just click on open approvals in a new window. There's the item we need to approve. So we'll say approve. Oh, but you know what? We didn't mean to approve. I do not want to do that. So click on reject. I meant to reject it. Say reject. We would confirm. We could leave a comment, right? Because very technical comment. And we could grab that, right? That would become dynamic content if you needed to log that somewhere later. So say confirm. This request has been rejected. Go back over the run history. And then you can see that none of these steps ran, right? Because the flow was dropped out. And here in just a second, the page will refresh and it'll show us. But we won't wait on that. Go over here. We're good. See, there you go. Test canceled, right? Because we set the terminate action to cancel, and there should still just be 3 videos over here instead of a 4th. Perfect. So there you go. We've walked through together now, and now you know how to use the if conditions And then you know how to branch out and use the approve conditions, which I'm going to do another video on later. I'll hopefully link to that at the bottom. It might be a month, but I'll do it. Do a video on approve, but we were able to do different things based on the approval status. And then we showed you how to bring it all back together, which was something new that I just learned today, honestly. And we're using Terminate to make sure that we didn't accidentally run that bottom step. So very exciting stuff. Hopefully this helps you guys with Flow. You know, I've been doing lots of flows here recently myself, so that's why, you know, Power Apps 911, we've incorporated those. We're helping customers with projects with Flow, so I thought I'd start teaching you guys some flows and hopefully you help. Definitely if you have Flow questions, things you want to see me cover, whether it's more details here or just ideas to inspire me for future videos. That's where most of my videos come from, questions from you. You can leave me comments below. You can tweet me at Shane's Cows. You can hit me up through Power Apps 911, right? Fill out the contact form. You'll see the flow that we use to run the business. It says, hey, do you want to get added to the mailing list? Then you can say no. I'll be sad, but you can do that. All right? Thanks, and have a great day. Hey, it's me again. If you got a second, click on the old subscribe button down here. Always helps me out. And if you want to work together on your flows, hit me up through Power Apps 911. Yes, we do Power Apps and flows. It's good. And if not, you check out the flow videos over here. I'll have a playlist right here. And then over on the page somewhere else, I'll probably have a video that I think you might want to see. All right, thanks, and have a great day.